Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer, where we're tackling a true kitchen masterclass. Chef Taha Ayad's Broccoli Cheddar Egg Bake. I am absolutely thrilled to walk you through this one. We're going to treat this like a step-by-step cooking tutorial, bringing professional techniques right into your own kitchen to totally transform your mornings. Now let me ask you this. Are you completely tired of dense, watery, make-ahead breakfast casseroles? Because look, if you've ever tried to meal prep your breakfasts, you probably know the struggle. You bake a beautiful dish on Sunday, and by Tuesday, it's literally a watery brick. Well, this recipe solves that exact problem. It's explicitly designed to hold its incredible texture for days. So here's our roadmap for today's breakdown. First, the ultimate breakfast solution. Second, essential ingredients and measurements. Third, prepping the vegetables. Fourth, mixing and baking perfectly. And finally, make-ahead storage and reheating. Starting off with Section 1, the ultimate breakfast solution, a warm, filling staple for your busy mornings. Chef Taha has over 15 years of professional culinary experience, but I just love his philosophy here. He says, everything stays approachable, nothing complicated. You know, you really don't need a culinary degree for this. It's all about using the right ingredients and applying a few smart, simple techniques that make a massive difference to the final dish. Let's move right into Section 2, essential ingredients and measurements. This is where we build flavor and texture from the ground up. Precision is absolutely key here. Every single ingredient has a job to do, rather than just taking up space. For our base, we're combining 4 whole, large eggs with exactly 1 cup of liquid egg whites. This specific ratio is what keeps the bake light while still giving it enough structure to slice cleanly. For the mix-ins, you're going to need 3 cups of steamed broccoli florets, 1 chopped onion, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, and some olive oil spray. Oh, and you'll need a half cup of shredded cheddar cheese. A quick tip from the chef, try to shred it yourself from a block. Packaged shreds have anti-caking agents that mess with the melt. And hey, if you have dietary restrictions, you can absolutely swap in a dairy-free cheddar. Just remember to shred it yourself and don't pack it into the measuring cup too tightly. But here is the real secret weapon, a 1/4 cup of plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. If you've ever bitten into a firm, rubbery egg bake, this is your fix. It doesn't make the dish taste hangy at all. It just guarantees a tender, soft bite even days later. Chef Taha tested versions without it, and they baked up way too firm. This one ingredient is your insurance policy against a dry breakfast. Section 3, prepping the vegetables, the techniques that make a noticeable difference. Okay, do not rush these prep steps. This is how we build our flavor profile. First, you need to steam those 3 cups of broccoli until they're just tender, not total mush. If you use raw broccoli, it releases moisture unevenly in the oven and creates these gross, watery pockets. If you overcook it, it just fades away. So steam it perfectly and, importantly, drain it completely. Next up, that chopped onion. A common mistake is burning onions on high heat, but we want to cook them gently with your olive oil spray and kosher salt for about 5 to 10 minutes. This draws out the natural sweetness and completely kills that sharp raw bite. Once they're lightly caramelized and collapsed, combine them with the drained broccoli. And that brings us to a mandatory technique, the cooling roll. This is a massive restaurant kitchen secret. You absolutely must let that hot broccoli and onion mixture cool down briefly. If you skip this and dump steaming hot veggies directly into raw eggs, you will literally start scrambling the eggs before the pan even sees the oven. A sure wait prevents the mixture from setting unevenly and ensures a beautifully smooth texture all the way through. Moving right along to Section 4, mixing and baking perfectly. Assembling the final dish with care. This is where the magic happens, so let's assemble. First, whisk your eggs, egg whites, yogurt, and cheddar in a bowl. But listen closely, whisk gently. You just want to combine things until smooth, not whip a bunch of air into them. Next, spray your baking dish with nonstick spray. Then, instead of mixing everything in one giant bowl, spread your cooled vegetables evenly across the bottom of the baking dish first. This brilliant little trick ensures even portions and stops all your broccoli from clumping together in one sad corner of the pan. Finally, just pour your smooth egg mixture right over the top and give the whole dish a gentle little shake so everything settles perfectly. You're going to pop that masterpiece into an oven preheated to exactly 350 degrees Fahrenheit and let it bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. Now, how do you know when it's done? Let's talk texture cues. The edges should be lightly golden, not deeply browned. But here's the thing. The center should still have a slight wobble if you nudge the pan. A lot of folks panic when they see movement and think it's undercooked, but it's totally normal. It means you haven't overbaked it. A knife inserted near the center should come out mostly clean. Once you trust the wobble, you can repeat this flawlessly every time. Because of this mandatory next step, you must let the bake rest for 10 minutes outside the oven before you even think about slicing it. Remember that wobble? This 10-minute resting period is when the residual heat completely finishes firming up the center. It sets up, it cuts much more cleanly, and frankly, the flavors settle so it tastes way better. Once it sets, serve a beautiful square alongside some fresh berries and a nice hot cup of dark roast coffee for the ultimate morning pairing. Finally, Section 5, make ahead storage and reheating. This is all about maximizing your meal prep all week long. It is incredibly easy to manage your portions here. If you're eating it this week, keep your cooled slices in airtight containers in the fridge for up to 4 days. If you go longer than 4 days, the texture will start to deteriorate. But if you want breakfast for weeks to come, wrap individual slices tightly and pop them into a freezer-safe container. Having a gourmet breakfast just waiting in the freezer is a total game changer. When you wake up and you're ready to eat, you've got absolute flexibility. Rushing out the door? The microwave does the job on high in 60 to 90 seconds. But honestly, if you can spare just a few extra minutes, try the air fryer method. Pop a slice in at 320 degrees for 4 to 5 minutes, and it literally brings those delicious caramelized edges back to life. It tastes like it just came out of the oven. Or a toaster oven at 325 degrees for 6 to 8 minutes gives you wonderfully gentle, even heat as well. So, are you ready to reclaim your mornings? You really don't have to settle for cold cereal or a drive-thru on a busy weekday. Take these incredibly approachable techniques into your own kitchen this week. Steam that broccoli properly, caramelize those onions, don't forget your Greek yogurt, and see just how comforting a real, homemade, make-ahead breakfast can be. Give this recipe a shot and ask yourself, what other breakfast classics could you completely reinvent with just a little bit of smart prep? Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy cooking.